Hello, advanced and proficiency level learners. Here are 50 adjectives for use at advanced and proficiency level. They're useful for those wishing to get to advanced level. They're essential at English proficiency level. Now, many of them you'll find more useful for reading and writing, but you'll also hear them being used on TV documentaries and TV interviews by speakers who are more articulate. And articulate is one of the words which I shall cover. Others are more casual and can be used in spoken English, but you may still not have come across them. All are valuable. So pay attention to them, try and get an understanding of them, and of course, if you have any questions, then please ask them in comments. You ready? Right, here we go. Far-fetched. It's a strange combination of words, isn't it? It's an adjective. It means something that's very unlikely to be true and difficult to believe. He told us a far-fetched story about being abducted by aliens. I didn't enjoy the film. I thought the plot was too far-fetched. Someone could give a far-fetched excuse of why they're late or why they haven't done something. Adept. What are you adept at? Adept is to have a natural ability to do something that needs skill. She's very adept at dealing with the media. Florence gave a technically adept performance on the piano. And like me, I always hit the wrong notes. Gullible. You find a lot of people who are gullible. It means to be easily deceived or tricked and too willing to believe everything that other people say. There are any number of miracle cures on the market for people gullible enough to buy them. Poor Sandra, she's so gullible. She was taken in by all his lies. People who believe conspiracy theories are gullible. Penny pinching. Not very nice. Means unwilling to spend money. I became tired of his penny pinching ways. I don't think Fred will come with us. His penny pinching attitude will put him off from paying for an expensive meal. Penny pinching doesn't apply to people who don't have any money or much money. It's to those who do have a lot of money but won't spend it. Tenacious. Tenacious means holding tightly onto something or keeping an opinion in a determined way. The baby took my finger in its tenacious little fist. There has been tenacious local opposition to the new airport. The noun of this is tenacity, to have tenacity. Antediluvian. This one always amuses me because it was the first big word I learnt at school. Extremely old-fashioned. Literal meaning is of or relating to the period before the flood as described in the Bible. My mother has some hopelessly antediluvian ideas about the role of women. That antediluvian relic is known as a slide rule. I bet many of you don't even know what a slide rule is. Fruitful. This one I think is pretty obvious. It means producing good results, abundant in achievements or outcomes. Their collaboration was fruitful, leading to groundbreaking discoveries. After years of hard work, the farmer's fields finally yielded a fruitful harvest. I hope your English studies are proving fruitful. Egregious. This is a good one. It means to behave in an extremely bad way that is very noticeable. It was an egregious error for a statesman to show such ignorance. The student's dissertation was marred by a number of egregious errors in spelling. You'll often find the words in newspapers. Sheepish. To be sheepish means to be embarrassed because you know that you've done something wrong or silly. She gave me a sheepish smile and apologized. When I asked her who'd made the mess in the staff kitchen, her sheepish manner gave her away. Children can often be sheepish when they know they've done something wrong. Nefarious. Morally bad, especially used about activities. The minister seems to have been involved in some nefarious practices or activities. Batman and Superman are always fighting evildoers and stopping their nefarious plots. This is another one which you'll often come across in newspaper articles. It's not so often used in casual chat, but you will hear it used in TV interviews. Mouthy. Now in contrast, this is very informal. It means talking and expressing your opinions a lot, especially in a rude way. She told her teenage daughter that unless she stopped being rude and mouthy, she'd take her phone away. I can't stand that woman. She's so mouthy. Never a nice word to say about anyone. No, it's not nice to be called mouthy. It's very derogatory. Paranoid. To be paranoid is to feel extremely nervous and worried because you believe that other people do not like you or are trying to harm you. He started feeling paranoid and was convinced his boss was going to fire him. She says someone is stalking her. She's getting paranoid about it. I hope you're not paranoid about anything. Wistful. We all get wistful at times. It means sad and thinking about something that is impossible or in the past. When he met up with her years later, he mentioned their time in France, and she gave him a wistful smile. I heard my mum's favourite song on the radio and grew wistful. What are you wistful about?
Mesmerizing, captivating or entrancing, holding one's attention. The mesmerizing dance performance left the audience in awe. The sunset over the ocean was truly mesmerizing with its vibrant colours. Mesmerizing came up in a workshop we did recently, where one of the participants said she found the film Titanic mesmerizing. In the same workshop, this word came up because I asked for an alternative to mesmerizing, and we arrived at spellbinding, having the power to hold one's attention completely as if under a spell. The magician's spellbinding tricks left the children amazed. Her storytelling was so spellbinding that everyone in the room was utterly engrossed. If a witch casts a spell on you, you'll be spellbound. Lugubrious, mournful, or excessively sad in a dramatic or exaggerated way. The lugubrious music playing in the background set a sombre tone for the film. His lugubrious expression after the loss of his dog was heartbreaking. Even the sound of the word sounds sad and mournful. Lugubrious. Serene, calm, peaceful and untroubled. The serene beauty of the mountain lake was breathtaking. She found a serene place in the garden to meditate and relax. Women are often called serene. I'm not sure why the adjective isn't used for men, but women certainly are called serene. Searing, extremely hot or burning, or having a powerful and lasting impact. The searing heat of the desert made it almost unbearable. His searing critique of the government's policies sparked a heated debate. Searing. Glaring, extremely bright, harsh or conspicuous, glaringly obvious. The glaring sun forced them to squint their eyes. The error in the report was glaring and could not be ignored. To glare at someone is to stare intensely. Supercilious, behaving or looking as if one is superior to others, haughty or arrogant. His supercilious attitude made it difficult for others to approach him. She gave a supercilious smile when asked about her achievements. I really don't like supercilious people. Do you know anyone who's supercilious? Crestfallen, sad and disappointed, typically after a failure or defeat. After losing the game, the team was crestfallen and dejected. He looked crestfallen when he didn't get the job he had hoped for. A crest is a high point, the crest of a wave, the crest of a mountain. So if you fall from that crest, then you're going to go downhill and be upset. Surreptitious, secretive, sneaky, or done in a way that avoids attention or detection. She made a surreptitious exit from the party to avoid meeting her ex. The spy operated with a surreptitious approach to gather classified information. Yes, well, of course, spies would do that. Jaundiced, cynical, prejudiced, or having a negative outlook due to past experiences. His jaundiced view of politicians made him distrustful of all government officials. She had a jaundiced perspective on love after a series of failed relationships. If you have jaundice, of course, then your skin turns yellow. It is an unfortunate disease. Prescient, having knowledge of events or situations before they occur, having foresight. Her prescient advice about investing in technology stocks turned out to be very profitable. The author's prescient novel accurately predicted many social and political developments. Don't we all wish we could be more prescient about things and have foresight? Browbeaten, intimidated or bullied into submission or compliance. He had been browbeaten by his boss into working overtime without compensation. The employees felt browbeaten and demoralized by the constant pressure from the management. As a cliche which always talks about husband being browbeaten by their wives who always nag them. Dashing, attractive and stylish in a confident, adventurous or gallant way. He made a dashing entrance at the party in his tailored suit and charismatic smile. The dashing hero of the movie saved the day with his courage and charm. It's usually used about men. Unfortunately, I don't think I have ever been described as being dashing. Articulate, expressing thoughts, ideas or feelings clearly and effectively, well spoken. She is known for being an articulate speaker who can convey complex ideas with ease. His articulate presentation at the conference impressed the audience and earned him accolades. The verb is to articulate. You want to articulate well in English and be articulate. Bedridden, confined to bed due to illness, injury or disability. After the accident, he was bedridden for weeks, unable to move without assistance. The elderly woman had been bedridden for years, requiring constant care from her family. Strange this one, isn't it? Bedridden. To ride on a bed. But while it sounds funny, the meaning of it isn't. Sheltered, protected from the difficulties and dangers of the outside world, lacking exposures to the harsh realities of life. Growing up in a sheltered environment, she was unprepared for the challenges of adulthood. The sheltered child had never experienced adversity until leaving home for college. We often talk about children being too sheltered. Decrepit. Worn out, ruined due to old age, neglect, or overuse. The decrepit old house had been abandoned for years and was in a state of disrepair. The decrepit beggar struggled to walk with his frail and feeble legs. Decrepit. Corresponding, matching, related, or similar in a way that corresponds or relates to something else. I think that the corresponding scales played on the guitar are more difficult than on the piano. Yes, they are. The data showed a corresponding increase in sales whenever the advertising campaign ran. Note that corresponding in this case doesn't have anything to do with corresponding, meaning writing. Dogged, persistent, determined and unwavering in pursuing a goal or adjective. Despite numerous setbacks, her dogged determination eventually led her to success. The dogged detective refused to give up on solving the difficult case. Note the pronunciation dogged. You can be dogged by difficulties. That is different. Disjointed, lacking coherence or connection, characterized by a lack of continuity or order. His speech became disjointed after he had the stroke. The disjointed essay failed to convey a clear argument due to its lack of structure. As English learners, your speech will be disjointed at first until you become more articulate. It will happen. Heartfelt, sincere and deeply felt, coming from the heart. She wrote a heartfelt letter of gratitude to her mentor for their support. The heartfelt condolences from friends and family brought comfort during the difficult time. Heartfelt, sincere and deeply felt. You mean it from the bottom of your heart. Expeditious, done with speed and efficiency, without unnecessary delay. The expeditious response of the emergency services saved lives in the accident. The expeditious completion of the project allowed them to meet the deadline. It's good to act expeditiously. Of course, that's the adverb. Empirical, based on observation, experience or evidence, rather than theory or pure logic. The scientist conducted empirical research to test his hypothesis. Her decision was driven by empirical data, showing a clear pattern of success. So it's based on observation and experience and evidence rather than theory. Hackneyed, overused to the point of becoming trite or cliched, lacking originality. The hackneyed phrases in his speech failed to inspire the audience. The movie's hackneyed plot was predictable and lacked creativity. I enjoy creative writing, and I'm always editing and re-editing to ensure that I haven't been hackneyed in what I've written. Forlorn, desolate, abandoned, or appearing sad and lonely. The forlorn house at the end of the street looked haunted and neglected. Her forlorn expression suggested she'd been waiting a long time. Forlornly is the adverb. She looked forlornly at her ex-boyfriend, wishing they were still together. Impulsive, acting on sudden desires or urges without careful thought. Spontaneous. His impulsive decision to quit his job without a backup plan left him in a difficult situation. She bought the expensive dress on an impulsive shopping spree. Are you ever impulsive? About what? About what you buy? About where you go? It can be good sometimes. Laudatory, expressing praise, admiration, or approval. The laudatory reviews of the restaurant's cuisine drew in a lot of customers. Her laudatory remarks about her colleagues' work were well deserved. Of course, you probably know the synonym of this, which is praiseworthy. His efforts were laudatory, his efforts were praiseworthy. Laudatory comes from Latin, as many English words do. Insightful. If you're insightful, you have a deep and clear understanding of a situation or problem. You're perceptive. Her insightful analysis of the market trends helped the company make strategic decisions. The book provided insightful commentary on the complexities of human nature. In many contexts, astute is quite a good synonym for insightful. He makes astute decisions. Nitpicking, excessively concerned with minor details, often to an annoying or petty extent. His nitpicking behaviour during the project meetings frustrated his colleagues. She was accused of nitpicking when she pointed out small errors in the report. Not a very pleasant origin, this one. A nit is the little bug, the lice, which you can get in your hair or on your bodies, and you have to pick them off. Ugh. Nitpicking. Mind-numbing. I think this one's pretty obvious. Extremely boring or tedious to the point of dulling one's mental faculties. The mind-numbing task of data entry left her feeling exhausted and unstimulated. Sitting through the mind-numbing lecture felt like an eternity. Yes, my mind's been numbed many times in lectures such as that. Mind-numbing. Shady. Untrustworthy, suspicious, or of questionable character, lacking in transparency. The shady character in the alley made her feel unsafe. The business's shady practices led to a scandal and legal investigations. Of course, the literal meaning of shady is to be out of the sun. Under the tree was very shady. Precipitous. Extremely steep or sheer, often referring to cliffs or slopes. Another meaning is sudden and hasty. Climbing the precipitous mountain required experienced mountaineers. The company's precipitous decision to lay off employees came as a shock. It's often and hasty and a wrong decision made with too much haste if it's precipitous. Pithy, concise and full of meaning, expressing a lot in a few words. Her pithy remarks during the meeting captured the essence of the issue. The pithy headlines summarise the key points of the news article. Often good articulate speakers can be very pithy. They can say and mean a lot with just a few short words. Rectifiable. Capable of being corrected or remedied. Fixable. The errors in the report were rectifiable with some revisions and edits. Despite the setbacks, the project's problems were rectifiable with the right approach. Thank goodness for computers. It means my typing errors are rectifiable. Unlike when I was writing things out by hand. Servile. Excessively submissive, obedient, or subservient to others. His servile behaviour towards his boss made him seem unassertive and lacking in confidence. The ruler demanded servile loyalty from his subjects, expecting unquestioning obedience. It's not good to be servile or forced to be servile. Makes you think of peasants of old and their lords and masters. Prodigious, remarkably or impressively great in extent, size or degree, extraordinary. His prodigious talent as a musician made him a sensation in the music industry. The company achieved a prodigious increase in profits over last year. Students who wish to succeed in English put a prodigious amount of effort into their studying. Shambolic, chaotic, disorganized, and in a state of complete confusion or disorder. Everyone was drunk and the party turned into a shambolic mess with people tripping over each other. The project's management was so shambolic that it missed every deadline. My room is rather shambolic. It's a shambles. It's full of computer equipment, books, guitars, pianos, and video equipment. It's a shambles. Shambolic.
Well, I hope you found the video useful. Remember that those words are valuable at advanced level and they're essential really at proficiency level. So try to get to use them. Try finding ways to practice them and introduce them into conversation and of course into writing. And you'll go a long way. Please ask any questions if you have any in comments. And of course, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Okay, I'll make more videos about advanced and proficiency vocabulary later. So if you subscribe, you're more likely to see them. Good luck in your learning. I wish you well. Bye for now.